Alright, so this is going to be a review on Kubota's brand new ZD1021 diesel zero-turn lawnmower. I've had this unit for exactly 2 weeks, and it's got 11.1 hours on it. There's several things I like about this machine. Number one is the diesel engine. It's 3-cylinder. Just like pretty much all of Kubota's diesel engines. It's 21.5 horsepower. It's got plenty of power to run this 60-inch deck. It doesn't have any trouble at all with it. This is the new ACS deck aerodynamic cutting system. It's supposed to take 22% less power to run it, and I believe they nailed that. This is the D1021 engine. This mower took the place of the ZD1021. They made some improvements. One is they put the oscillating axle on it, like the bigger 331s or the 300 series. They also put the maintenance jack as an optional accessory, which I went ahead and got that. It comes standard on the 1200 series, the new 1200 series, but this one is optional. And if you don't know what that is, you can you take this handle right here and fold it out like that. You take this pin out and put it in this hole right here, and you crank the handle, and it pretty much just oscillates the axle all the way up to one side and jacks the front of the machine up so you can get up under it and work on the blades, take the blades off and sharpen them, or clean the deck out, whatever you need to do under there. This makes it a whole lot nicer than trying to use a floor jack or something like that. Thing about this mower is pretty much just like the bigger 300 series, the 331s. My dad has a 331, so that's why I compare it to it. But it does have the gearbox with the PTO shaft drive, and it has the double belt on it, which I really like. I had a lot of issues with belts on my bush hog. So I don't expect to have that trouble with this machine. It has the deck height adjust right up here where you can reach it easily from the seat. The ZD1021s had it down here, and it was hard to reach, which I never run a ZD1021, but I did look at them at the dealership when I bought this machine. Right here, it still has the wet clutch PTO, which is a nice feature. Never wear out. Has wet brakes just like the bigger machine. Here's your throttle, and they moved the gauges to the left side to unclutter this side somewhat, and that's nice because you know exactly where they are. When you look to the left, that's pretty much all you see is the gauges instead of handles and levers sticking up in your way. Hill holding ability. Also, this thing goes across a hill much better than the 331 my dad has. It'll set up on a hill much better, and there's not any fluid in the tires on this mower. They've changed something about the center of gravity. They also put these bigger wheels and low profile tires, and that may have something to do with why it goes so much better than the 331. It doesn't spin as easy. It stays on heels better. It turns around easier because it's lighter. The 331, when you go to do a zero turn, it just feels like you're turning around a tank. I mean, it's just so heavy, and this thing's not like that. It doesn't whip around quite as fast as my bush hog mower did, but it is much better than the ZD1021 that my dad's got. As far as power difference between this and the 331, I can't tell a whole lot of difference. Dad's does have, the 331 has the 72-inch deck on it, and this one has a 60-inch deck. But as far as power-wise, there's really not a lot of difference between the two machines. But yeah, I like it. Let's hope it holds together. One of the other things they improved on this one is they put a suspension seat on it. I don't believe the ZD1021 had a suspension seat. It's also got better cushioning, and it's more comfortable. And they made these levers where you can adjust the height and the pitch of them. And also, they say they made them easier to move, but I still think it's pretty stiff. It may get better, but they did make the shocks, the gas struts that make the levers work smoothly. They made those adjustable. You can change where they connect to the lever to make it either harder or easier to move, and I've got it in the easiest setting, and I still think it's a little bit stiff compared to my old bush hog mower, but that's alright. I'm getting used to it. It's also the transmission's not quite as responsive as the bush hog mower that I had, but what I mean by that is you have to push the levers further to get it to move. Like if you're changing from forwards to reverse, you have to move the levers much further than I did on my old bush hog zero turn mower. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, because I've noticed I haven't been spinning it near as much as I did my old mower. But this mower is somewhat heavier than the old bush hog that I had, but it doesn't seem to tear up the yard as easy because it doesn't spin as easy. And it's easier to control the direction you're going because of the less responsiveness, I guess you would say. But I'm getting used to that, and it doesn't bother me. It's nothing. It's just a difference in machines and what I'm used to. So what else can we talk about? This one's got fuel gauge. It only has one fuel tank on it, 6.1 gallons, which is okay because it only burns about 3/4 of a gallon per hour. It's got a fuel gauge and temperature gauge. The new 1200 series has got a digital readout on it, but it's right smart more expensive than this machine, and I didn't really need to go with the bigger machine and heavier. Didn't really want the heavier machine. And see, this one still has a hydraulic deck lift on it. It's only one pedal operation, so you bash the pedal down and it holds the deck up as long as you hold the pedal down, and then when you let off the pedal it goes back down. And that works pretty good, except when it gets hot. and you idle the machine down, it won't lift the deck up. You have to have the machine wide open. Also, that's another thing about this that I just noticed today, and I don't know if it's a problem or normal, but I got done mowing and I'm going down the driveway here, going down this paved driveway, and I'm about quarter throttle, and I push the deck raise and the deck isn't raising, and about 3 seconds after I've mashed the deck raise, I'm still holding it in, and all of a sudden the transmission just lets loose, and I'm rolling down the hill and it won't stop or slow down or move. And then so I let off the deck raise, and all of a sudden the transmission comes back and it starts working again. So I don't think that's normal. I'm going to call the Kubota dealer about it Monday or Tuesday. This is Memorial Day weekend. But other than that little issue, which I don't know if that's a little issue, but you know, I really like this mower, and I hope it's not something major going wrong with it. I really like how it mows. It does a nice job mowing. It has nice features. It's got really good power. It doesn't bog down like my old bush hog did. It had a 30 horsepower Kohler on it, and it was just weak and terrible, especially in wet grass. But this mower has no trouble mowing wet grass and going on with it. So, alright, these lights up here. I got the light kit, and this is not how they were when I got it. See how they're back behind the roll bar now? On the front side, yeah, they're sticking out on the back, but that's not too big of a concern. But when I got this machine, they were up there where they are, but they were mounted out here in front. So I felt like every time I got near a tree, I was just looking up all the time, trying to make sure that I wasn't breaking the lights off. And I didn't like it. Now, granted, you can see good with them up there on the roll bar. When it's dark, you can see a lot better than you can with them mounted down here somewhere. And you can see pretty much all the way around you, except for right directly behind you. So I wanted to keep them up there. So what I did was I reconfigured these mounts. Let's see if you can see what I did here. I drilled another hole and mounted them. I turned these brackets around. They were facing forward, and I had to cut right here, and I trimmed this off to make room for this. And I drilled another hole here to mount the light to. That way it would be recessed behind the roll bar, and I like it much better. I don't feel near as threatened by tree limbs now breaking my lights off. So that's one thing that I improved already. But that's really the only thing that was bugging me about it when I got it. Other than the transmission is a little noisy, a little vibration noise when you go most of the time in reverse. And you know, I hope that's not a sign of problems to come, along with the deck raise problem. I'm not sure if the charge pump is not big enough, or if it's just because they may say because I need to keep the engine revved wide open while raising the deck, which I think is kind of stupid, but that may be what they tell me. I don't know. I will find out. Alright. Next thing you're going to see is me mowing a little bit. You're going to be sitting in a tree, and I'm going to do a little mowing. So see y'all guys later.